Yeah.
In terms of Mrs. Bates,
John Austen, Mr.
John
Bates.
Austen. Yeah.
oh no, you're gonna leave that one in.
Oh, I'm definitely
Oh,
leaving
for
that one
sure.
in.
If we're leaving in my fans instead of
And
fam, we're leaving John Austen in too.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Awkward Squad Reviews. We are here to do our review of the movie Emma 2020. So that's going to be interesting, especially because we have a special place in our heart for Emma 1996. Okay, I think we should just get right into it, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. So, initial impressions. I guess just kind of think back a couple months to your initial impressions of the movie.
Wow. I guess that's my big takeaway.
It was a roller coaster
Yeah.
Really.
because there was just like a sudden switch where it suddenly like was good.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was you, Rebecca, or Shri, who had looked it up because we, after the first time, and then like the next day, we had been talking and we were like, I looked it up and they said people said it was actually really good. You just had to get through the first part. And I didn't
It was
believe them.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I didn't believe that. I didn't believe you when you said
No,
that.
I
But
thought,
now I understand what they mean.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
completely different movie.
Yeah. The first 30, even to 45 maybe
Yeah.
minutes were
Yeah.
kind of weird. And then it suddenly kind of exploded. I don't even understand. It was a
It
whole
was just a shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
suddenly they weren't making Emma despicable anymore.
Human
Harriet felt like an
being,
actual friend instead of whatever,
like a
like
minion.
how condescending she was at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Harriet, how condescending Emma
Emma
was. I
was.
just
Yeah,
realized.
yeah.
No, we get it. But I don't understand, like, what are we supposed to think that there was just like a shift in her character over like a day? Like, I don't know what that was
I
supposed to
think
be.
they were trying to do like a gradual change, but
Yeah,
they
they failed.
failed.
Yeah, that's actually what I don't know if you guys know, but we were really responsible this time. Like, I don't know if you guys haven't seen our Emma 1996 reaction, you can check that out over here, right? In the info card or probably in the description box too. But what that I was telling Rebecca and Shri when I was editing, it was so hard for me to choose what to pick to go into the video because we were talking and I had to take out some really good points, especially that you two made, because you guys had such really good points and my points were just lame. So if I took out my parts, I was like, oh, that's great. But you guys had some really good points, and I felt so bad because just for time crunch, I had to take it out. So this time we were responsible, and we wrote
Responsible.
down our points, so we know what we're talking about, and we won't go crazy, and hopefully no tangents. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But yeah, actually, what we were talking about, the shift between the first and second half, but it also kind of leads into we were talking about the change in Emma's character. It was really sudden. I didn't understand what the vision was for it, and I honestly, in general, it went really fast as a story. The plot line, like it went just like zoom through, but it was also longer than the other. Like it was it was 2 hours long, which is half an hour longer than most movies around, right? So it was longer, but the story, it felt like it went really fast and then dragged, and then really fast and then dragged. I feel like that was my experience. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think the pacing was definitely way
Yeah.
different. Like in the 1996 version, it was more of like a consistent, moderate Allegro type pace.
You felt like time was passing in between scenes.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the scenes where there was time, like there was obviously it was a different day in the 96 version. In this version, they lead right one into the next. So it just makes it feel like not a lot of time. Like they said it was winter and then spring and then summer, but like.
Yeah, there's time in between that. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
seasons. I think that we
But
forget
you
about
don't
that.
feel it.
And and exactly, that's right. You don't feel it. But
Yeah, it was just very odd pacing wise.
Odd pacing.
But I will say, okay, we've said a lot of like negative things, but I will say like some positive things. My favorite character in this version was Harriet. And I could not have said that in the first one, like at
I,
all. My favorite,
I
like,
see that. I think
yeah.
I think I'm
This
leaning
is
more
a
towards
Harriet
that
I
too.
can imagine being friends with. Because
Oh
like
yeah.
I don't know if you kept it in the review of the last one, but one thing that I said is Harriet is such a nice person and I like her, but I couldn't be friends with her because I don't want friends that like depend on me for their personality
Yeah.
because that's essentially what the
She
96
was
version Harriet
basically
was.
like tabula rasa. She was basically clay in Emma's hands for 1996. And in this one, she was, and like in a sense, but not nearly to the point that 1996. 1996 went really
Like
hard with that.
Miss Bates, they definitely went for two very different Miss Bates. In the 96 version, they went for a rambly and kind of not great at picking up social cues.
And just like a naturally like, I was not optimistic. That's not the right word, but like I don't know. In
Generally
Malayalam,
happy.
yeah, generally happy. But in Malayalam we have a word and we call it like paum, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I see Miss Bates. Miss Bates is paum, right? She not this one, not the 1996 one.
No, not that
She
one either.
she's
I mean, I'm not Malayali, so I
she's
can't.
like
We have a
she is
different word.
yeah, she's very pure and like innocent, and she doesn't like part of like the taking the social cues. She doesn't really do that well, and
Yeah.
she's very sweet and just loving in nature. And then this one, it's like you said, they tried to go for a different Miss Bates,
Yeah. She was
and
still nice and bad at picking up social cues, but then she was also and rambly, but she was also way more distracted and it almost seemed like it wasn't so much that she couldn't pick up social cues, it was just she couldn't keep her attention long enough to notice them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All
Harriet
right,
and Robert Martin were cute,
yes,
Oh
I was just about to
yeah.
say that
and I
their
still find it
relation.
hilarious that he had to take off his hat.
Yes. The best.
And then
I think
even once he took off his hat, he had to like duck to
I
get
think
past
I
her
don't
arm.
know. It's weird. Like, okay, so I think that it's really because I see the hat thing like very like respectful and that kind of thing, right? And so when I see the top hat thing, I was like, oh, so sweet, so sweet. And to me, it's not necessarily just. I mean, it was partly logistic because her bonnet was like out here. Like I don't know what they were thinking with that. I've never seen a bonnet go that far out. But so logistics wise, I'm sure you thought about it. But it's also kind of sweet, like it's like this is because the hat is part of the outfit. You don't go out without your hat. He's taking
I
his
mean,
hat
they're just
off, and I was gonna say that was part of one of the Harriet and Robert's relationship. That was on my list, but I wasn't going the route that you were saying. I was gonna say that I think personally that was I think my favorite couple in the whole. I think there's this. I mean, it was very sweet and just wholesome and just like a beautiful like
yeah,
Knightley and Emma. Like by the end, they were cute. Don't get me wrong, but like the build up to it was just
yeah.
right. But the build up to for Robert Martin and Harriet's relationship, it's not that much because we don't see them too often.
But
But
you
when
could
they
see
did,
it when they were there.
yeah, like the first time we see Robert Martin is when he walks across the field to talk to right? Like that was
Yeah.
like and he's like, oh, he's like he saw her far away, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to her, right? And then after that, when she refuses his proposal, right, which Knightley, rightly so,
And I mean,
says some,
you could see the love in his eyes.
yeah,
type
you
of
really could, you really could. And then when they see after
her.
she refuses his proposal, and they see him at the store with his sisters, and his sisters are talking to her, and she's fine, and she gets really and they can't even they want to look at each other, but they can't, like, well, actually no, that's actually Harriet. Robert's just staring at her like,
Oh yeah, no, Robert is
he's
like,
alive. Oh my gosh, like, and he's totally still in love with her. Like, you can totally see it. And then Harriet's like, I want to look because he's cute, but I can't because I refused his proposal. But I still like him, so I should look. But then I said no to him, so he's probably mad at me, so I shouldn't look. And she's just going like this the whole time, like.
I did appreciate that they showed Emma going to explain that she's the one who convinced her to refuse it. That I really appreciated.
That was their side that she's changing for sure. Like, because before then, she would never have deigned to walk to a tenant farm where there's mud and straw and animals and she in the heat.
The goose or something.
Oh yeah, and brings
yeah.
something exactly. But that was I think their version of showing her character development. Like 1996 did a lot better job of showing it through the whole movie. This one is more sudden, but you know that it's happening.
I think that leads wonderfully into two topics that I think we can kind of put together. The shift between the first and second half and the relationship between Emma and Knightley.
Yeah.
Because they kind of, I would say they go together because that was part of the major shift. Where I don't know if I just missed something, or because it just felt like she was awful, she was awful, she was awful, she was awful, she was likable.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I felt too.
And like, she and Mr. Knightley hate each other, hate, friends.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going pretty hot. We're just saying a lot of negative. So one positive thing, really positive thing about Emma 2020 is that I really liked the dance between Knightley and Emma.
Yes.
1996 didn't go into detail. They had the "Indeed We Are Not," and then they moved past it, right? But
I do kind of wish they had kept the second one, even if we already, even if it had already been telling us that he likes her. I still would have really liked it.
Yeah, I think that would have been interesting. I think I understand where 1996 was coming from because, like, it's like we were saying in the 1996, we don't really know if you're watching it for the first time that Knightley has feelings for Emma until that moment, and so it's like a shell shock. So to go anything past that might be just as an audience too much in a couple of moments, right? So I can understand that, but I really did appreciate because this one was a lot more of a slow build up to hit, like, we already can kind of see that he has feelings for her.
I do appreciate
because I done that.
Appreciate the like servant or whatever who
walking in and the servants in this movie. The servants in this movie were really good actors because, like, like this one, he walked in, walked right back out. The maid holding the baby for Isabella and John is just like, okay. When they were leaving, then when they were kissing, the two servants, like,
yeah, the two in front of the screen.
So I think that was the servants, good job casting the servants, which goes into our next point, which is some of the casting choices. So
can I want to talk about one more change. Aside from, I would like to say I liked the atmosphere of 96 for the ballroom better.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I definitely liked the 20 dance better because you could feel the romantic tension.
The atmosphere for me in 1996 was better. That's what I would imagine. But a lot of the plot, a lot of the wording between Knightley and the Elton and how Mr. Weston was reacting, all of it kind of went better in 2020 for me.
And so what I wanted to specifically talk about were the two proposal scenes. Well, like I was saying earlier, they kind of split the proposal. So I guess 3 scenes. You have, I would definitely, it's kind of like I sort of like both, but for different reasons. And so I think in this case, it's not so much like this one is better than this one, like with the dance where I'm pretty sure they were going for the same thing in both movies in the dance. But in this, they were just going for different things, so it's just a matter of which you prefer. 96 was definitely more of a sweeping romance thing, whereas
Yeah.
in 2020 was very awkward first love.
Yeah.
You know,
It was
that's
supposed to
that's the
be
sense
like
that I
a
got.
comedic break, I think, in the moment because you're expecting he's being so serious, and then all of a sudden, like,
Nosebleed.
and he
Again,
was he can
yes,
be like,
I was like torn between like I thought that the proposal, the first half of the proposal in 20 was kind of funny, and I mean the second one too, because Mr. Knightley, do you feel a breeze? No, so it's one of those things where I can't say I liked one better than the other because they were just going for very different things.
yeah. Oh, and one thing I appreciated in the 2021 was that this is the one of the most famous nightly lines, which was if I loved you more, maybe if I loved you less, I could talk about it more. And
Yeah,
the one
that's a great
the
line.
one drawback I have to 96 was that they did not put that in. That's the
Yeah.
one drawback for the proposal of
It's a
96.
good line.
It's a great line.
So good. Like when you're reading the book, when you read that, you're just
It's
like,
yeah. I mean, and that's like a lot of people like find it like the epitome of that's Knightley's feelings for Emma. Like if nothing else, if you take that one line, you can describe how he feels about Emma, and it's a really sweet line. And so that's the one drawback I really had for 96's proposal. But for this one, I was so happy they put it. I was actually thinking maybe they might not put it in, but I'm really glad that they did.
I like the proposal from the original Emma better, but my favorite Emma Knightley scene has to go to like this one. It's probably tied between like the second half of the proposal with like, oh, Mr. Knightley, do you feel a breeze? That and
I'm
the
sorry,
dance.
that he,
And
he
he
is a
doesn't even like
legend.
marriage. He doesn't even like marriage, and he's like being this dude's wingman. Like, come on,
Yes,
good,
what a
good
bro.
on
What a bro. But that
At
scene
least
and the dance scene are probably
at
like
least he knows he
tied.
has his father-in-law's approval.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think yeah, no, that you're right. The dance scene and the second half, those are pretty amazing.
I
But I
mean,
think the purpose of the dance scene for 2020 was her it was Harriet telling Emma that that Harriet is in love with Knightley in 96. This was her moment that she's starting to realize I have feelings for Knightley. Which is also
mhm.
why, like I said, it accounts probably for why when Harriet tells her that she has feelings for Knightley in 2020, the proposal happens really fast after that. So I can see it's like when you watch it, the pacing's really awkward, right?
Yeah,
But on like a plot level, like on another level, like kind of extract yourself from watching it and you just think about how the things
yeah.
play out. It makes sense. It just the
I really
execution
wish that
is nice.
it didn't feel like that. Like it was going rush through everything.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're almost done. We're
Technical things.
yeah, technical things, and that we have like two main things under technical things, and that's mostly the colors and costumes specifically of Emma. Mostly, like
Hmm.
we had a lot of issues with her, and also casting choices. So I know Shri really wanted to talk about the casting choices because I think you said that.
I really want to talk
Yeah,
about the costumes.
yeah. I have like a brief note for the casting choices. So Anya Taylor Joy was Emma in this, and she was not the person I had envisioned Emma to be. Um, because I know her from what's that movie? Split and Glass, which are both horror movies, which I was forced to watch, by the way, very scary. Um, Surprisingly, it was a really good movie, partly because of Anya Taylor-Joy's acting in it. She was like really good at like conveying like the fear and sort of like emotion. I don't want to give too much away, but like she was really
I'm
good at
not
her
watching
role.
it, so go ahead.
Oh, but I don't want to give anything away to viewers, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Um,
Spoiler.
yeah. But in this, like, she just takes a complete 360 turn here. And in her role as Emma, she's very like she's surprisingly good at the end, right? But in the beginning, she was having some of the issues that I was afraid that she would have, being too cold, being a little severe. Um,
Yeah.
and
But
then
the
like,
fact that she did well later, makes me think that it wasn't her problem. It was like some sort of directing issue.
I
Yeah,
feel like
that's what
it
I was
was
thinking.
directing or writing. I
So,
think the guy who played Elton, though, did do a really good Elton. He
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up being so
I
good. Like,
felt
I was not
I felt
expecting it.
violated.
Yeah, no. Oh my God, the man was
Dude,
so
he's
creepy.
so dramatic and so it was
Innocent.
innocent.
Nose,
Like
wiggles
rolls
eyebrows.
like the whole
Um,
time he's so dramatic. It's weird.
I don't know. I haven't. I think the guy who played Mr. Knightley, he did a good job for what they were going for.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
I also go flat with
Speaking of
the singing at that one point.
but then when he
They
switched octaves, it went so much better.
Oh
started
yeah.
singing, and I was like,
I kept
and
thinking,
then
why does this
suddenly
sound
they got
off?
good. No, I think it's a very good metaphor for this movie. I didn't like it when it started, but then sudden switch,
By
and
the
it was
end,
great.
yeah.
You're right, it just needed to go up an octave.
On a positive note, I think the casting for Robert Martin was really good. I liked the guy they put for.
Yeah.
He was sweet.
He pulled him off so well, and we were talking
Total
about it,
puppy
right?
dog.
Yes. Like when he sweeps off the hat, walking, like that's what I picture like Robert Martin being. Like the Robert Martin in Emma 1996 was good. Don't get me wrong, but like
I don't think
I
we
don't know,
saw
he seemed
enough
a
of
little
him.
too timid for me. Yeah, I think that the Robert Martin in 1996, in my opinion, was a little more timid than I would have wanted. Here, he wasn't necessarily timid. Like
He was a puppy.
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't want to like step on anybody's foot. He was just trying to be like gentlemanly. And then Rebecca's favorite topic of Emma 2020,
Yes.
the
I wouldn't say it's
costume.
my favorite topic. I actually do like talking about the character differences, but definitely the thing that it was something that bothered me a lot, and it's part of why I liked the atmosphere of 96 better in that dance scene. It was very muted. The colors scheme in general was very muted, which felt weird to me.
In the dance scene or just in general, like the
In
muted.
general,
Yeah,
the
dance.
dance scene was just sort of dark.
Yeah, and the dance
Yeah.
I feel like it played well, but the rest of it I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then specifically, like for the most part, I would say that they did pretty good job of finding clothes that look good on their characters, except for Emma in the first part of the movie.
Yes.
And even
Okay.
some of the accessories towards it, like throughout the rest of the movie, like they did not like that one thing that went like this.
That like Christmas ornament.
Specifically, in the first 30 minutes, it's like they had no idea what colors to put on Emma because every color looked awful with her skin tone. Stylistically, the only outfit I didn't like was the collar that was not connected.
Mm-mm.
Everything else I thought stylistically looked good, but I just didn't like the colors on Emma because they didn't look good with her skin tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
But
match that stuff.
But the plot twist we kind of talked about with the proposal where she was just like suddenly bleeding.
Yeah, it was very
Sudden.
yes.
I was expecting. That's why I was like, kind of like, when's it coming?
Yeah.
I
Rebecca
didn't know what they were gonna do.
but she didn't warn me and Shree. It's kind of
Yeah.
I mean,
Plus it's payback.
normally
Yeah.
Yeah, normally I would have felt bad because it is something that I just genuinely forgot about because I haven't thought about specifically what I've seen in Emma 2020 for a while. But hey, since you guys made me say surprise butt,
We saw surprise sales later.
yeah,
I think most of our issues are with this movie is that
pacing.
the pacing and the time issues. Like they didn't operate on time well. And I think
Yeah.
if they had adjusted how they operated time, the pacing would have improved immensely.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick last final thoughts. Anything less? Just about the movie overall.
Interesting
So
movie.
yeah, the first and second half almost feel like different movies in a way. And once we got past that first part, once they hit the switch, I really enjoyed the movie. And I would say that that part was on par with the 96 version for me.
Yeah.
With
that.
But the first half is just a slog to get through.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a really big problem. And coming out of it with a positive view of the movie, which is not something I was expecting since, our first introduction to it was so bad. But that's really something that they should have thought out better.
Yeah.
We were able to come out of this movie saying good things, like we loved certain scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with it's kind of a miracle that the writers and directors and actors were able to turn it around like that. Like that's kind of insane. And it shows that this movie has more potential. It could have been better, but I think it was still pretty great.
Yeah, I would agree.
I was gonna say, like, for 1996, the whole movie, for me, it was like a 10 out of 10, right? I think that they did everything really well. This one, I would split it in two. I would say the first half is like a 3. That's being nice. I would more say 2 or 3 out of 10. I was not fond of pretty much anything in the first half. And then the second half, when they hit that switch, I think it was, just like Rebecca said, on par with 96. I wouldn't say maybe 10, but like 9 out of 10. I would give it that. That's my view. But like, because it's like they could have been two separate movies. And I think, Rebecca, you said that. And I think because of that, it's making it so difficult for me to actually have like good feelings toward, like good like a good solid like rating. Like this is something I would enjoy, this is something I would not enjoy. Because it's so different from the first one. I feel like my opinion, I think I would have skipped to the middle. I would have skipped to the middle and started from there. That's
We're all in agreement. It's basically two movies. We really enjoyed the second half, but we really hated the first half.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But yeah, so that's our rating of Emma period 2020. Oh, we forgot to talk about that. Everything in this movie has something, a period.
Yeah.
Like that's
Autumn period.
Autumn period.
Period.
In case you weren't sure, this is the end of this word. Period.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I really don't get oh wait, I get it. It's a period piece.
That's
yes.
good. And with that, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah. So if you guys watched, especially like us, watched 96 and 2020, and you want to compare them, let us know your comparisons in the comments below.
Or just your thoughts on this movie specifically. Yeah. This is an interesting enough
this
topic.
whole movie could merit its own 5-paragraph essay just on the whole movie. Yeah.
But be sure to hit that like button and to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
And check out
no. Oh my god. If you guys don't get that joke, go check out the reaction video where I messed up.
About John.
Oh god.
All right. Well, we were so glad to do this Jane Austen review of Emma. But if you guys are tired of Jane Austen, because we did a lot of Jane Austen videos. Our next video is actually because it's Christmas time-ish, kind of. It's
Almost.
almost Christmas time. We're like
It'll
right
be Christmas time around when this
When this
there. Well,
uploads.
it's
when that
technically
video
almost
comes.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's just
No, it's not.
it'll be a lot more
Eva,
closer
don't
to Christmas.
convince yourself. No.
Yeah, Eva loves Christmas.
I do.
She's
I do.
just
It's the most
she's
magical
just
time
like
of the year.
really hoping for it to arrive.
Yes, I'm waiting for it to arrive, and everybody's nice to each other, and lights and
But
all
we
that.
have a
And
nice
we live in Florida, so there's
thing.
no snow, but
Yeah.
you can't have everything.
But we have a nice thing planned for December.
Yes, so stay tuned. Well, Shri, I think we have an announcement that we forgot to put in all the other
Oh,
reactions.
yeah. Okay, yeah, guys.
What do we have for social media,
we
Shri?
don't just have a YouTube, guys. We're cool. All right. We have an Instagram. That's right. At the Awkward Squad Reviews, I think.
We're
I think
so
it's
cool.
it's at
We'll link
Awkward
it.
Squad Reviews. It'll be
It'll
in
be
the
linked in the
description box.
description.
It'll
Yeah,
be linked in the description below.
yes, and
Be
we'll
sure
be
to follow
posting
us.
all kinds of little things on there, like about us pages, reminders for our videos, maybe even like a couple behind the scenes. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I don't
Maybe
know.
do some polls too, because if you guys
tell us
don't
if-
comment down below what kind of movies you want to watch, maybe we can ask you there.
And tell
Instagram.
us if you want to see the longer version of our review of the 96 Emma, because the version that by the time this goes up, we'll have already posted, is a shortened version.
Yeah, and we had to take out a lot of really interesting conversations that we had, including our feelings on the picnic, which is I think I took out. Of 96. So that one we had a lot of good conversation about that. Yes, I'm pretty sure I left in Jane Fairfax. But yeah, so if you want to see that, let us know, because if you're bored by us, we don't have to post it. But I'm sure you guys want to know our really long tangents.
Oh, of
so
course.
be sure to be sure to comment down below or DM us and let us know if you guys want to see those. Well, guys, thank you again for watching our review on Emma period 2020. So be sure to join us again and join our Awkward Squad. Yay!
Join our fan.
Or yes, join our fan.
Oh God,
Woo!
is that really what we're calling it?
That's gonna stick, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
If John Austen
Bye.
is going to stick, fan will too.
Bye.
Oh my God.